Alright guys, got myself big package here. Alright, shifting gears. My audio was off and I didn't end up saying what I wanted to say, so I'm just rolling over to a voiceover here to tell you what's going on here. I just got in a new beehive called a Tapcomb. Just like the name suggests, it's a self-harvesting hive similar to the Flow Hive. It's a new concept. They've been putting a lot of money into advertising it over Facebook and so on. I was intrigued and I want to give it a try. Just so you all know, they're not paying me to do this. I'm doing it all on my own and I'm not sure how it's all going to turn out. So I'll continue the unboxing and let you take a look at it. I'm looking through the instruction manual and I see a lot of similarities in the setup and stuff. It reminds me a lot of the manual that came with the Flow Hive. And I don't know, I'm aware of the fact that it looks like Tapcomb has stolen the Flow Hive idea and is just trying to make some money off of it. And it bothers me that their manual looks the same, but I don't know how much of that's psychological. I should say at this point right now, if somebody takes an idea and improves it, that's how progress is made on this earth. If they do it without acknowledging like where they got it from, like if somebody steals an idea and says, hey, that's mine, when it's actually his, that's a problem. But if somebody says, hey, I was looking at that idea and I found some improvements, that's how the world gets better. so I understand that there's a little bit of concern about whether Tapcomb is stealing ideas, stealing patents, so on and so forth. The only way to find out if somebody's just trying to make a lot of money is to test it out, and that's what I'm working on. So it looks like these are the frames. Let's take one out and look at it. Alright, this is cool. So already I can tell that this is, you know, pretty neat. It's really neat that it has a metal top here. It's different. The Flow frames don't have that. It's visually stunning, that's for sure. Alright, so what's supposed to be better or different about this Tapcomb hive is that it has less plastic. It has these extra spaces inside that the bees will need to fill with wax. And that extra space is to allow for the honey to rest on beeswax more than plastic. My personal observation with the Flow Hive is that the honey does rest on the plastic inside. And I'm not a beekeeper extraordinaire. I haven't spent a lot of time doing this, but I wasn't really worried about it. I didn't really see a problem with the honey resting on the plastic. But just releasing the video announcing that I was doing the Flow Hive thing, it kind of opened up a door for a lot of flack. So a lot of the anger and frustration and concerns, any of those that people had about Flow Hive, was then directed towards me from time to time. Very interesting. It's very informative. And I know that a lot of people were worried about the amount of plastic. I would dare to guess that those same people would have trouble with this too. I'd like to find a tool. I wonder if it's in here. Yeah, here's the tool. Now, This is strange to me. The tool will not reach clear to the back of the hive. How is this supposed to work? With the honey Flow Hive, the tool reaches clear across the entire frame. This only reaches partway across. Let's see how this works. So I'm supposed to turn this way to open. Get my arm out of the seam here. Oh. Actually, the motion itself is very small. Open and closed. So it does in fact open all the way across to break the seal that would be on there, and that is a different mechanism. So they did not copy the mechanism from the Flow frames. Okay. So this is a new product, and because it's new, they are doing kind of a promotional discount. And I think I spent $350 on this hive kit, which has an entire hive. Again, in terms of use, looks just like the last one. Here's the assembly guide. I thought I would just give this a big try for real, just to see. And yes, they've used a composite wood. I was reading that. It's not actually wood. This is, but the frame is made out of a wood composite, kind of like composite decking. This is actually a little funny to me, because if a person's worried about the interaction of bees and plastic, we've cut out the plastic in the frame and added it plus some to the box. Being in the Pacific Northwest, I actually like this, because I will assume that this box will last longer, just like composite wood decking, right? That's my hope. But it also causes me a little concern. We'll see what happens here. They've got this really interesting hive reducer and so on here. We'll see what happens as we look through this. So some wood pieces for the inside here. I'm guessing this is a roof piece. That's right. They have this asymmetrical roof. Quite interesting. That smells like pine, maybe. What a very natural looking queen excluder they have here. This is surprising to me. Now, oh wait. Oh, this is made out of cedar. This is very aromatic cedar. I'm surprised to see this queen excluder, because the rest of the hive is plastic. As I was digging through, I was thinking, oh man, this stuff is maybe a little junkier than I thought. And then I found this, and I'm surprised. That on my check mark box, I'm checking another point towards Tapcomb. Here's the bottom of the hive. It's kind of nice that they have that grit on there. So I'm seeing things like how this all meets up here. I mean, there are certain aspects of this that feel like cut corners. They almost feel like they cut corners that wouldn't have normally been cut by a beekeeper. But hate to speak too soon. Right, I have the hive put together. I have a few observations to put in. Last thing, let's take a look at this thing all put together. Well, a difference here to point out at the beginning that's different from the Flow Hive itself. The Flow Hive has an angular piece on the base that causes the entire hive to tilt, so that the honey will flow a little better from the cells, right, out into the jar when you harvest. This angle has been built into the top box. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this composite wood. In ways, I like the idea because it's not going to weather so much, but it's really slick, and these boxes slide around really easy. Doesn't take much effort to get them to slide. I'm thinking that I'm going to have to come up with some clever solutions to make them stick together a little better, because it wouldn't take much of a bump and all the bees will be on the ground. I'm sure it'll be a little different once they get in there and they propolize everything, make it all sticky, but you know, it gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking of me just trying to open up the top and bumping all the bees onto the ground. Yeah. So they've got these hive entrance gates, whatever you would call them, doors, and man, that's hard to open. You have to get something in there to open it. I really doubt that I'll close them very often, but you know, for getting the hive started, once you get it closed, it's hard to open it again. Just maybe not close it all the way. There you go. That's a thought. Taking a look inside the assembled hive. They've got all these pieces here. That's good. Looks very beautiful when it's all put together. That's for sure. One bit that I don't like is that this piece is super loose. That one's not too bad. Another problem that I have is that these are loose. You know, the Flow system built a hive that all the components fit very nicely, very tightly, and you could tell that they'd worked out a bunch of kinks. This is a little bothersome to me. I do believe it'll work. I believe once I set this in place, I can adjust all of these like I do the frames inside the lower box, and it will work. But I'm just saying right now, when I put the Flow Hive together, they had screws to adjust these in so that they were tight and all of the frames were set and solid. Don't feel that way about this one. Alright, here's an important thing to address. This is the frame, the wooden frame that they sent with the kit. You can tell, we'll put it next to this. This is the wooden frame that came with the Flow Hive kit. I still have a few of these extra because I had some frames from the Nuke that came, that I installed in my Flow Hive, so these have never been used. And you can tell the difference. This is the typical standard, well-designed, well-built frame, wooden frame, right? With no foundation in it. This is a very simplified design. Now this is made out of cedar. That's a good thing, but it's not rigid. This one's quite rigid. When I put it all together, I made a really good solid frame. It has very important design aspects to it that make it a better product. Years of beekeeping have designed these things to be helpful and useful to the beekeeper, and all of that was thrown away for ease of production. That is what this piece tells me, is they were just going for very easy production. It would be worth your while, in my opinion, to just go ahead and order a few of these. Pretty much anybody that sells a beehive will sell you a better frame than this. and they're fairly inexpensive. That's what the queen excluder looks like on there. Overall, everything fits quite nicely. I think the fit is nice. The handy part about using fake wood composite, is that you can make it fit, and it will fit well. You can do it with wood too, but it's much easier to produce the other. Okay, these fit together really nice. Those are my first impressions of this Tapcomb Hive. I'm really interested to get some bees in it, see how things are going, see how well it does. If you're interested in getting one, they're still fairly inexpensive. The price is going to go up in the future. They're having a promotional deal right now. They're probably worth looking into while they're inexpensive. I would hesitate a little bit once they get back up into that $600 range for an entire hive. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'm excited to give this a try. And until next time, thanks for taking this journey with me on Simple Ground.